talk about local government elections, but people on the ground, that's what they're concerned about. What are their councillors doing in order to help them put paid to the pernicious scourge of gender-based violence? There's an event currently underway. The South African Police Services is hosting a dialogue on gender-based violence and femicide among young people. It's currently underway. As you can see at the lectern is SAPS General Khehla Sitole leading a panel of officials from various youth entities. Let's listen in.
Find themselves in positions of responsibility. This is one way in which SAPS is demonstrating its adherence to the call by government to empower young people so that they are better positioned to lead and improve service delivery. As the SAPS, we are encouraged with the progress made in this regard, but a lot still needs to be done to afford the youth more opportunities to advance certain agendas which might change the crime scene in our country for the better. I think what I would then like to throw to you as about now to conclude are the no man's land challenges which you might have to consider as you are progressing with your discussions. The first one, which are adding to the root cause, that is metrics of the country. One of them is the dropout rate, which is continuously feeding the runnership profile in the country. For as long as this feeder mechanism still takes place, I think we may not be able to stop young people from becoming victims. The number of single mothers below the age of 18, which is increasing unchallenged. The number of school-age children, which is increasing in the streets. The continuous relocation of young people to the online spatial framework, which is not accounted for up to now, but we have thrown in the online policing strategy in order to provide a response to this, so which require operationalization. The victim profile of young people, for both gender-based violence as well as online victims. The last most critical challenge is that we are now sitting with injured human and spiritual values, which if they are not repaired, it will make the criminal justice system just another process, but not necessarily helping us to address the root cause of the problem. There's things that you may need to consider, which could be part and parcel of certain prerequisites for us to provide a response. One of them is the operationalization of international crime prevention priorities. I'm also equally glad because Mr. Cezanne is here from the United Nations Organization. There's three most critical international crime prevention priorities. One of them is the creation of safer cities. The second one is the creation of safer streets. I think our streets, as far as gender-based violence, are not safe. Most of our women or young people in the street, they get, in one way or the other, abuse. The last one is the reclaiming of public spaces. I think in almost more than 60% of the public spaces, whether they tourist public spaces or any kind of public space, it's more dominated by drugs and criminals. I think our children are no longer able to play. The current situation requires stabilization. And in the in the turnaround vision, one of the key deliverables is the stabilization and normalization of crime. We might need a stabilization intervention from the side of the young people. And if you would be coming with any stabilization proposal, you have my support up front. We need a very high density-based approach to this particular sketch. We also then need an activation plan for gender-based violence. Whether by technology or by any means, I think we need to empower young people and women in the country so that we can provide a quicker response to gender-based violence. Remember, most of the gender-based violence is taking place within the houses, and sometimes it's also taking place between two people who are related. But I think we need to have an activation plan that can help us to respond. What scares criminals is a quick reaction time. Then we need a normalization intervention. This particular situation, it's not normal. And if you look into the
Right, SAPS General Khehla Sitole there, the National Police Commissioner, talking about a very pertinent issue that we are grappling with here in South Africa is gender-based violence. And this dialogue is basically aimed at figuring out how to enhance the South African Police Service's response to the scourge, but also roping in the youth and asking them to play an active role in putting paid to the scourge of gender-based violence. We will keep a closer eye on that. We'll bring you the big takeaways in a short while.